Hi everyone, Danielle here, and I am wanting to share to you my Top Tip Tuesday. My day's got away from me, so I've set this up super quick, so I don't have my extra light either. So sorry guys, hopefully it is bright enough for you to see. Get this one out of the way. I wanted to talk about adhesives today because close to my heart have a huge range of adhesives, and like it's like, which one do I use for what? And each of them do have a place, and sometimes it's also personal preference. So the first ones that I'm going to talk about, which is simple, super easy, are our 3D foam. Now it comes in a roll or in a dot form. And the thing to note with these is that you get a thin 3D foam or a normal 3D foam. So obviously the dots are already pre-cut for you. You get two different sizes in a packet, this large size and this smaller size, and you're just peeling the fronts and backs off. The foam tape rolls come the same. So you get two rolls in a packet, and this will be the easiest way to show you. They come apart into two, a narrower roll, thicker roll, and then again, you've got that thin versus thick. So the actual difference stems, which one have I got here? Have I got two the same? I think I do. Crazy me. What was I thinking? All right. This is the thick and this is the thin. So this is like 1 mil, whereas the thick, the normal size, so the thin is 1 mil, the normal size is like 2 mil. So this is used to add dimension under things. And the other thing I like, the reason I choose the tape is because obviously I can get longer sections and things, but you can tear it, especially the thin is really, really easy to tear. So that when you're placing underneath things, you can, obviously a circle would be good on this one, but I can easily tear it to suit my shape. Stick it down, and then you'll see it's adding just that little bit of dimension. I personally use the thin an awful lot rather than the thick, just because I prefer, I don't want as much bulk on my scrapbooking pages and even on my cards, particularly if I'm posting them. If I'm going to be hand delivering them, I might use the thicker and it might not matter. But you could use both on a layout too and get different layers of height on your page, or if you've only got thin on hand, for example, you can double layer the foam tape and that will be fine too. All right, so that's the foam tape. The next one I want to quickly talk about is the glue dots. Now, glue dots, as they sound, are super, super sticky. Now, they come in boxes like this, and there are different sizes. And the thing to note with our boxes, there's 3 different sizes that we sell. On the top of the box and on the front is actually the true size of the dots. So this is a medium, and I don't know how well you can see that, guys, but there is, no, it's not focusing there. There is a dot in here that is a lot smaller than this one. So this is the medium size, and then they get smaller again. I got rid of the cardboard boxes because I got sick of them. Hang on, am I going to discover? I think I've got 2 of the same going on. Oh no, they're different. Okay, cool. So with the glue dots, a couple of different easy ways to use them, all right, and for various reasons. They're good when you've got smaller things. Like I often use them under likes of glitter and things like that, not glitter, sequins and things like that, because it's an instant dry. So rather than using liquid glue, I can use a glue dot. So I've picked some off there to that flower base, all right, and I'm just going to stick it on. Oh, and the thing with glue dots, once they're stuck, they're pretty stuck. So that has actually torn my white. Yep, there you go. You can see it very clearly there. All right, it's torn my white paper to get that off. Now, the other thing I use glue dots for, I'm going to add some more onto this. This poor little spare flower's having a hard time today. Oh, I love to use it like this, just pull it off the roll, but you could use tweezers, scissors, anything to pick them off. All right, there's a few there. Is glue dots help me when I want to adhere something to the glitter paper, all right, in particular, because it just gives that more instant hold. You could obviously use a liquid glue as well, but I really like the instant hold. So I use glue dots a lot. All right. Now, when it comes to a firm hold, you have a few different options. New into our range this catalogue is the red tape, and this is what I like to call the nice strong tape. Grab my scissors because I forgot those so I can cut a piece. And it is very thin, all right? It will still work on your glitter paper. So, but you've got to get the stick right. So it is a bit harder to use on glitter paper, I find, than the glue dots. Okay. Nope, I keep pulling it back off. Note to self, don't use that on glitter paper. It does work, but I struggle to get the back off. So, if I was using, like, making a box or a 3D gift or something like that, perfect for those sorts of things, because it's a really strong hold. So make sure you push it down really well, and then get my fingernail under that edge. Okay, so now I've peeled off that outer layer, and then I can be attaching my next thing on. And I've just got some scrappy bits that I found on my tabletop here. So great for boxes and things like that, if you're making covering things for albums and things like that. And again, it will peel off if you're gentle about it, all right? But if it's been on there for a while, you're probably going to find it's going to tear, all right? So good, strong adhesive there for the red tape. All right, liquid glue. So I want to talk close to my heart, liquid glue. So this is liquid glass. I've spoken about this a number of times on my Facebook page. I absolutely love it. It is a really strong adhesive. If I wanted to hold things together and had a little bit of time to hold them to set, then I would use this over, say, the red tape. This is the product I used for those who saw my photos of the wreaths I made on the weekend. This is the product I use. So when you buy it, it first comes like this. You can buy the fine tip applicator to go with it if you wish. It is notorious, both tips, doesn't matter which way, for clogging. It's just the nature of this glue. Like, once it air dries, it's kind of stuck, but it is a water glue, based glue, so you can obviously take this top off, stick it in hot water. I just boil water in the kettle, stick it in a mug, take my top off, stick it in, and the glue will actually dissolve. Might take a couple of goes just if it's a bit thicker, but that gives me a nice fine tip for using with my liquid glass. I have known people to use, you can take off this pink thing, take this syringe, the needle off, the syringe bit off, and just use this pink tip just for something different. Gives it a bit of a wider nozzle, all right, so you get more glue out. So it's going to depend whether you want fine or what you want. I love the fine tip because I can do lots of little pieces. The other glue, the other use for this is when you put it on top of things. So for example, if I coated this with it, it's going to dry clear and it goes shiny and glossy. So it's a nice glossy accent type of look. So that's another option for liquid glass. All right. Now, the other liquid glues we have in our range are the Tombow mono glues. And you've got the blue, which is the aqua, or you've got the green, which is the multi. Now, the reason this one is called multi, it's a two-way bond. It can be repositionable or permanent. So if you use it straight away, joining two surfaces together, all right, it's going to be a permanent adhesive. If you let it dry till it's tacky, it's a more repositionable glue. Now, both of these glues have a fine tip and then a wider tip at the bottom, and there's little grooves on here to help you spread the glue around. Now, with both of these glues, the less is better. Spread it out a lot if you're on a big space and you're wanting to use it, just because it's a glue, liquid glue. It is going to warp your paper if you're not super careful. I use this a lot. I personally don't use the green one. Call me a bit stingy. I don't feel like I'm using it because I don't want a repositionable for me. That's not how I work. But this is a 25 gram bottle. This is a 50 gram bottle or 50 ml bottle. And this one's $9. This one's $11. So I just tend to go with the one that gives me more. So that's my option with that. And I do use this a lot for fine little pieces. Now, the new one that's come out is the Quickie glue pen. Now, this one is a ballpoint glue pen. And hopefully you can see my little lines that I've just drawn there. It does dry quite quickly. So it's good for little areas. All right, and you can just roll the glue on. Okay, but the thing to note with it is that it will dry quite quickly. So make sure you're not doing, if something is too big, consider whether you can do one side, lift up, add more glue underneath, that sort of thing. So, but it's good for all those little fine things. And I've chosen a not very flat die cut, which was very silly of me. Sometimes when you die cut things, if you like me, I like to put 2 sheets of paper through at the same time, and the one that's on top ends up a bit more curvy in its cuts than the one that was on the bottom, and that's what this one is, obviously, and it's not sitting quite flat on the paper. But for those little pieces that are sitting flat for you, that is the Quickie glue pen. It's a nice fine little tip. Now, the last one that I wanted to explore with you is the different range of roller adhesives. Okay, so some of you may have this one. This is the Tombow permanent adhesive. Tombow have actually retired this one, and I know I'm completely out of refills. There's no more available to order online from CTMH, and I've got part of a roll left. But I wanted to talk about the differences between this one and what they've replaced it with. So this is a continuous line of glue, and I know you're not going to see it there, but it is a continuous line, whereas the Mono Air, this is the new one, which is a refillable one as well. Okay, so it opens up, you can take the cassette out, this whole bit goes out, and you keep that cover. So that's what this is, it's the refills. Now, this is actually a dotted glue. All right, so when you roll it out, you're getting little dots of glue. Now, I used it today and I was just playing around with it. It is quite sticky. All right, so if I stick things onto there, but it's not as unforgiving as the previous Tombow roller, which often tore things quite a bit. So some of the glues come off on this one, a lot of the glue's still on there. I could then reposition and stick. All right, I'm using white on white here. That's not good for the camera, sorry. But you'll see there you go. That ripping was this Tombow, okay, the long line of glue when I pressed it down hard, okay, very permanent, whereas this one is a lot more repositionable. Now I'm going to do a fresh row of that just to test it with a different colour, because sometimes, if you haven't realised, our white cardstock is actually thicker than our coloured cardstock, and the white tends to burr and tear a little bit more easily. All right, so it tore a little bit that time, but nowhere near as much. So you do just need to be aware of that and be super gentle with it. The other thing that you may find useful then when using this is our new tool that we have available, and so that you can be sliding in underneath things to help remove that adhesive. All right, now the last one I wanted to compare. So that's the new one. Get that one out of the picture. This is the Close to My Heart adhesive. This is a bit more forgiving in if you want to be repositionable. All right, so it's a dotted glue as well. Okay, so that left no glue on this one. All my glue is still on there, so I can now stick that down again. Once you leave it for a bit though, it does become a lot more permanent. So yeah, that's getting more sticky as I leave it there. So just be aware, if you are a less permanent type person, you want to be able to reposition really easily, then this one is for you. It is non-refillable, the Close to My Heart one, but I do love it. If you're wanting it more permanent straight away, try the Mono Air. All right, the new Tombow adhesive that Close to My Heart are now stocking. I find with this one occasionally that the backs of some of my photos, depending on the brand and where I get them printed, this doesn't stick them down very well. So I often use that for putting my photos on, but perhaps we'll use this one when I'm working out my layout or a card and messing around and shifting things around. I hope that helps, guys. If you have any other questions, please let me know. But the new Tombow Air definitely has my thumbs up, which was one thing I said I would come back to you guys with. All right, have a good day.